Hello and welcome to Steve's Backyard Bonsai. Today I'm going to unencumber a seed tray that had some cuttings in it in the greenhouse. It was one that I had talked about, was one that I kind of swamped. I would let it dry out, hopefully, and then fill a tray underneath it with water, let it saturate, let that dry out again, and I keep repeating the process. I think I kept it too wet because there was some slime mold on it. What was that, Luca? Oh, was it something you ate? I told you not to eat stuff. All right, let's get started on this seed tray. I'll show you what's in here. All right, this ought to be fun. I don't know if you can see the slime. Something that looks a little slimy there. I took a little bit of it off yesterday because it was freaking me out. So I have some moss in here, just pieces that I stuck in, kept alive. And there's some moss back here. These are cotoneaster cuttings from my horizontalis, the one that grows along the ground. These are growing vertically. Maybe I can do something with these someday. This is a little jade. There was a cutting on the ground in my son's backyard in Berkeley, California, and it had roots. So I stuck it in here to protect the roots, and this is all grown since I stuck it in here. There was two little leaves coming out of here, but this is all extended since I stuck it in this tray. And these are the English ivy that I was so inspired by Candace of the Bonsai channel, Bonsai Science. So I wanted to get some started. I think I've got some of these nicely rooted and extended. And then there was one lone, I have two, one in the other seed tray, one lone Chinese elm that has been alive, so it's got to be doing something, right? The other seed tray in there is the one that has my larches, which I still have my doubts on, but I would love to get one rooted and added to my larch forest. But this is the task for today. So let's get the moss out, or at least some of it. Just put it off to the side for now because Luca has taken to liking to chew moss. And he covets it and doesn't let me take it from him. Makes me very angry. All right, so first thing, the cotoneasters. I think I should pull the substrate up with the window screen and dump it in something. It's not going to be easy. I'll be able to cut it in pieces, I think. Who knows what I'll be able to do with these little cotoneasters at some point. All right, I'm going to move this to the side and just deal with these babies for the moment. Leave it. All right. This little baby's got roots. Put him here for now. Nice roots. Will be fun to develop. These are all nice. I'm gonna have to figure something out to put them in. I'm sure I have something. This one's a little anemic, but hey, maybe a little forest. What do you think? At least to develop them. Maybe they'll grow nicely together. Gotta get some branching started, I think. All right, let's move on to the next group of trees. I'm going to stick these in water and then put them in a bucket. This is my little Chinese elm that was part of my initial pruning of the Chinese elms that eventually went into my Central Park planting. So let's see what we got. I'm going to consider this one a casualty. No roots, still hanging in, I'm sure, with the energy that's in these branches. There are buds swelling, so there's a lot of energy in there. Do I give up on it? I'm going to defer my decision till later. All right, next up is this jade. As I mentioned, this came from the backyard of my son and his family. I was playing with my grandson. We noticed this kind of rooting on the ground. It had roots when I put it in here, so my expectations are that those still look healthy. I don't think I expect that they grew much. There's some significant rootage down on the real business end of this. I'm not sure what this all is. Yeah, it's roots. This is going to be transplanted into something and given a chance to grow. I'm just going to wash it off for now. All right, just a quick update. If there weren't little green buds all down the sides of this, I would have chucked it. There's no roots. There's no sign of anything. I'm just going to put it in a pot, this pot, and keep it moist, not swamp it. If it dies, it dies. If it lives, it lives. I'll leave room for the other cutting, which is in the other tray. And put it pretty deep and just pack it in. Who knows? Look at that movement. Nice. Who knows? All right, next up is the English ivy. I really want these to be developed as little trees because I just thought that was such a cool concept. And I'd love to replicate it. Okay, this one didn't make it. That's interesting. Maybe I'll give it another chance. This didn't make it. This didn't make it. Radial roots, look at that. Oh, beautiful. Might have it elsewhere too. And this appears to be the last one. Some moss here I can capture. Let me grab this moss. And I want to get this dried out and ground up for next year because I'm going to try and perfect the moss process over the years. What works, what doesn't work. Let me know what success any of you may have had with propagating moss. These are going to make nice little trees. Somehow I've got to get them into pots or a landscape. I have these little plastic landscape trays. They're square. That might be great for growing these out after I prune them up. Oh, this is going to be fun. Thanks, Candace. All right, I'm going to get these all planted up and I'll come back and show you what I did. I'll put this here. I don't know what's front, what's back. Doesn't matter. And the last one. I'm just going to prune this one down to here. Take off some older leaves. See if we can get some branching happening. I'll plant this one all the way over here. All right, let's get this guy watered up. I'll wet it really good till the water is running through. And I'll come back and do it again in a few minutes. Let that really soak in. Some of the components of this soil are organic. It's starting to run out the bottom now. And I want to get those really soaked. Also the large pellets of akadama that are in here and the turfus. All right, let that run through for a little bit. But the idea is going to be to get some tree-like forms happening here. Let's water it again. Put it in the greenhouse to recover. Keep it very wet. Let it grow. I'll keep it in the greenhouse for as long as I can. This will come in the winter time. It should be kind of fun to develop. Okay. For the cotoneasters, I think I'm going to use potting soil. I've got these pots that are pretty much the same size. Potting soil is a mixture of old potting soil, new potting soil. And old bonsai soil mixed in, you know, viable bonsai soil. So I've used this quite a few times. It's okay. Okay, we got all 9 ready to go. Let's get planting. Okay, it's going to be the same routine. I'll look these over, see if there's any roots I can cut away. In this case, I think I want to leave them, see what develops later on in life for these guys. But I will prune it back. I'm going to take this low branch right off. 2 low branches. And one more. Got a branching here, and I'm going to prune it at the top here. So I've got a little tree there. Dig a little hole. Okay, move that to the side. Next up. Same thing, I'm going to keep the roots, maybe just this bottom piece, cut away. Take the lower branches off. Giving it some sort of trunk. It's got a little bit of branching developing there. I'll cut it here. And we plant it. Keeping all the roots, spread them out as much as possible. Put it off to the side, and I'll do the rest in fast motion. Okay, so here we have our 9 little Cotoneaster rooted cuttings, ranging from pretty well developed for ones that size. It's just the mailman, Luca, to ones that probably won't make it. But I'll get these watered up, and the only thing left to plant is that little jade raft. I can't even call it a raft, it's only coming up in one place. So I've got this pretty unglazed terracotta pot. It's not terracotta, it's ceramic, but it's kind of nice. Anyway, I haven't had anything in it for a while. So I'm going to put that jade in here, as well as the ones that are in the greenhouse that are just leaf cuttings that have taken. So those are going to go in here as well. So once again, all of these cuttings came from a giant jade tree, or giant for my standards, growing in my son's backyard in Berkeley, California. I love this one. No roots here, just a couple. The rest are down here, and it's probably, yeah, there's a little bit of a leaf starting down there. So I'm going to put all of these in this pot. Start with the big one. And I'm going to cut this leaf off. Might as well keep it in the pot too. It seems to like being split. Do I want to shorten this now? Yeah. I'll put this leaf way over here, partially bury it. This one has no roots or anything. Put this one over here. This one over here. This one over here. I think I'm going to cut part of this leaf off to make it fit better. And why not, for good measure, this little one. Maybe, yeah, right here. And since everything is getting fed, maybe I'll give it a little bit of water tomorrow. I'm going to leave it the way it is tonight in the greenhouse and let it sit there for the rest of the season. I'll probably bring it in the house in November. If the evening temperatures, if I can't keep them above freezing, bring them in the house earlier, but November sounds good to me. All right, we'll get some jades going. This one was a necessary evil. I needed to get them out of their little swamp and into something else growing. I have a whole nother tray to do, maybe tomorrow. Let me show you what I've gotten done today. All right, we're in the greenhouse. These are the little English ivies. This I didn't do today. These are my common bald cypress. I'll show you what I'm going to be adding them to at some point. This is the other tray I have to get to. These are the larches. A little primo right there. A little boxwood. And somewhere in here there's another, oh yeah, right there there's another Chinese elm. And these are some cuttings from my club the other night. I kind of grouped them together, and maybe I'll get a little fusion going, or maybe they'll all die, who knows. All right, let's go outside. We got this little Chinese elm outside, which is a cutting off of my Central Park planting. This is the parent of the Cotoneaster cuttings that I'm about to show you. And here are the 9 of them outside. These will be watered once in the middle of the night, and I'll water them during the day if they need more watering. These are 2 common bald cypress that I'm going to be adding those others to in a different pot, a larger pot. These are growing very well. I'm going to do some branch selection very soon. Not going to prune, just going to selectively remove some branches. Thanks for sticking with me while I went through all my little mundane tasks, and thank you very much for keeping me company in my backyard.